One of the most interesting things about research, I think, is when something surprising happens, and then it can lead to entirely new research directions.
It all starts with an abstract idea. You think about your hypothesis and you design an experiment to conduct it. And in that experiment, it will fail many times, but you're going to learn new things and you're going to go different routes.
Even in our anti-biofouling coatings work, that was purely accidental as well. We were intending to make polymers that were Teflon-like, so very small nanoparticles, say a few nanometers in size, that could act like molecular ball bearings. And then we realized that there was a side reaction occurring, and that whole process then allowed us to transform the molecular ball bearings into anti-fouling coatings that can serve as paints to coat ships to serve our Navy. Typically in the marine environment, the kinds of coatings that are put onto these marine vessels are toxic. They used to contain tin, and now they contain copper. And the problem with all of those coatings is that those toxic materials leach out of the paints, and they tend to build up in the environment, especially in port areas.
When ships come in from the ocean, they come into port, they collect all kinds of microbials from the ocean that attach onto the ship's hull. So the purpose of anti-biofouling is to keep those microbials from attaching onto the hull or biofouling onto the hull of the ship.
Our idea is that if we have a non-toxic polymer coating, that an organism cannot grab onto the surface with high adhesion over a large surface area, and therefore it will have a very weak interaction with the surface and will either choose not to bind strongly and will swim away and find something else to stick to, or if it does bind and then the ship leaves port and begins passing through the water, the flow of the water will simply clean the surface of the coating.
I think the surprise factor in science really is learning from all the experiences, all the experiments, and finally reaching a way out. And to me, that's great because your curiosity gets rewarded. You can do that in the lab, and you can do that with chemistry.